Good morning. Welcome to Plugged In. We will be in Ecclesiastes right after this. Good morning and welcome to Plugged In. It is good to be back with you. I have missed you. I hope that you've missed this segment. Just to kind of give you a short reason for not being on the air the last 2 weeks, it's called weather. 2 weeks ago, where we live at, too many hills to try to navigate with the nasty weather and the cold temperatures, and not really for sure what the roads were like. And then last week, I got a text from Will specifically saying, hey, the roads are too icy. We're just not going to run anything. And so we've had a crazy 2 weeks going on. And in fact, part of the lesson is going to share with you something else that's been going on in my life. So it's good to be back with you. And here we are on the heels of the Kansas City Chiefs winning a playoff game, not just a playoff game, winning the one to take them to the Super Bowl. Chiefs Nation is excited, to say the least, after what looked like a dismal regular season full of ups and downs and wondering what was going on. The Kansas City Chiefs added to their resume the ability to once again make it to the Super Bowl, despite what all of the naysayers were saying. Here's a big deal, though. For this year, the accomplishment came because they had to win 2 playoff games on the road against teams with better records. Now, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am excited about Super Bowl 58 featuring the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers, who I really like in the NFC. But truth is, even just as a sports fan, I would be watching the Super Bowl, even if the Chiefs were not in it. But get ready for what I'm about to share with you. There are those who could care less. I mean, I know it's hard for us to imagine this, but there are some who could care less at all whether the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about those who live in Buffalo who represent the Bills, or those in Baltimore who cheer on the Ravens, or any other NFL team. I am referring to those who just don't care. Now, that doesn't mean they don't care about life or whatever. It's just, well, sports in general is not really their forte. I think it's a waste of time to watch. It focuses too much on money, and that it's just boring to watch. In fact, a really close friend of mine just cannot stand to even watch a live baseball game because it's just boring. Now, I know that there's probably some who are watching today and you're kind of wondering just exactly where I'm going with all this. Well, allow for me to start steering the wheel in the direction I want to go. Again, I was excited that the Chiefs won. But here's a question. does it really matter? I mean, if the Chiefs had lost any time during the playoffs, would life have ceased? Would it have been over? Is there anything of more value than just another trophy displayed in a case? I have been reading through the book of Ecclesiastes these past 2.5 weeks. Now, it's not my first journey through this book that Solomon, the man of great wisdom, wrote. But 2 weeks ago, when we were, stuck, and if any of you know me, and some watching do, I don't like to be stuck. But with the weather the way it was, I had nowhere to go. And really, I had no personal desire to get out. And so I found myself doing a number of things that some of it needed to be done at the house, some maybe to-do lists. But I also made myself just open up the Bible and just read. And I didn't read to prepare a lesson, although today you're getting one. And in future days, you might get some more, and or the church that I preach at might get some lessons from Ecclesiastes. I wasn't preparing for a sermon. I just opened up Ecclesiastes and I began to read. And I had nowhere to go. I actually got one of the Bibles that doesn't have a commentary in the bottom of it, no study Bible. It just is the Scripture. Meaningless. Not the reading of Ecclesiastes. No, what I mean is that's the basic theme of the book. The word is literally mentioned 35 times. And some of the times it's connected to things like wisdom, pleasure, accomplishments, riches, toil, labor, work. In the opening lines of his observations and ranting, Solomon said something. Now, this is not going to be on the screen. We're going to have something later on the screen for you. But in chapter 1, here's what Solomon says. Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. And on and on and on Solomon goes. It can be a little depressing. And the reading of this book caused for me to set back and to begin wondering just exactly what might have been going on in his life. This man who had amassed such wisdom and such wealth, such knowledge. And maybe the reading of this particular book was God's timing in my personal life. A time to reflect. A time to slow down. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. So let's just read. Let's just read. And the timing of it was so, incredible. My uncle passed away 2 weeks ago, tomorrow. Unexpected to our family, but not to God. Then 4 days later, our grandson was born. Well, we have 3 grandchildren, 2 granddaughters, and now a grandson. In the span of a week, our family's emotions went from sadness to celebration. And then, well, our little buddy was born with a broken arm. So now we have concern. Is there anything that really matters? I mean, what does it matter if the Chiefs do win their Super Bowl or not? What does it matter if you have $5 in your bank account or $5,000? What does it matter if you work 35 years for the same company or you work in that same period of time at 7 different places? Is there anything that really matters in this journey that we call life? Well, periodically, I'm going to just throw some stuff out to you from Ecclesiastes. I don't want to bore you with a series, but you'll hear some things from time to time. But allow for me, if you would, to fast forward to the last chapter of Ecclesiastes. Permit me, if you will, to read exactly what Solomon wrote, at least in how we have translated it. It's found in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, these words. Now all has been heard, and here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. When all is said and done, you and I will stand before God. It won't matter how many championships we've won or lost. Our financial portfolio will not matter. Our earthly accomplishments will not matter. It will not matter how many times we watched Plugged In or Morning Waffle or whatever shows that we watch through K-ROG. It doesn't matter how many sporting events we attend or how many awards we put on our wall from our success at work. Here's what matters. Did we have a fearful, reverent, honorable relationship with the one who created us? I don't want to start this week out as a Debbie Downer. I don't want to come back on the air after being gone for 2 weeks and give you some depressing news. But the truth is, Solomon was a little bit right. There's nothing new under the sun. And what has been will be done again, and what's going to be done will be done again. And the most important thing is our relationship with the one who created us. He loves you. He loves me. And so much that He sent His Son so we might have life. Thank you again for watching this week, and we look forward to meeting up again next week on Plugged In. Have a safe and wonderful week. God bless.